What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to the first FM Simulates of, well, a while. If you don't know what this series is, basically we recreate stuff that's going on in the real world of football in Football Manager, sim through it in Football Manager, and see kind of what the game predicts might happen. So, with Jürgen Klopp looking on the verge of joining Liverpool, I thought it'd be a good video to stick him in charge of Liverpool and see how he'd get on. So, for this, I've got a summer update, so we have all the latest transfers. Unfortunately, we can't change the start date, but this is essentially the start of the 2015 season in real life, so Liverpool are going to have their updated squad. And yeah, we're going to see how Klopp gets on in charge. If I sound a little bit ill, it's because I have been. I've been sick this week, which is why there hasn't been any videos since Sunday. I've been feeling really under the weather, but I'm feeling a little bit better today, so I thought I'd get a video recorded and put up for you guys now I'm back at work. So yeah, as you can see here, we've got the Liverpool squad. Klopp is, of course, in charge. You've got all the latest transfers going on, and yeah, we're going to see how Klopp gets on. So I guess I'll join you guys after the first season. We'll take a look at the signings he's made, how Liverpool have got on, and hopefully he can do a bit better than Brendan Rodgers has done so far this season. Okay guys, so we are at the end of the first season. Mourinho's job's insecure, the City job's open. I guess we'll take a look at the Premier League to begin with. I don't know what's happened here, and okay, that's a surprise. Wow. Liverpool have won the league with Klopp as manager in their first season. You can see here Chelsea and Manchester City finishing second and third. United getting that fourth spot. Arsenal finishing sixth. Arsenal finishing fifth. Spurs sixth. Not too surprised at the top six teams, but the ordering there certainly is not what I expected. Liverpool winning the league. Who the hell did Klopp sign? Looking at it here, looking at the player stats, there's no Liverpool players to be found. So that makes me wonder who the hell has managed to kind of get the important goals for Liverpool. Looking at it, they've got 78 goals and they've conceded 51, which, I mean, to be honest, is not that good or a defensive record. It's the fifth best in the league, and then for goals for, I mean, they've got the second most amount of goals, but I'm still surprised. So, of course, because we're missing last season, because this is the data for 2015-16 season, but we're using obviously FM15 for this. It says the last league finish for Liverpool was second. Of course, that's not the case. They finished, was it fifth or sixth in the end? It was a season to forget either way. But this year, they've won the league. Where to start? I'll tell you what, let's have a look at the transfers to begin with. Who did Klopp sign? So looking at it, he's not done a massive amount of business here. He's brought in Josh Brownhill, who is 19 years old. He's quite a good player. Preston North End youngster, bought him for £1 million, not played, so he's not really a key player. The next player they've got is Ladislav Krejci. I guess that's how we'll say his name. It sounds good, doesn't it? From Sparta Prague. And this guy looks pretty decent. He only made 9 appearances, got 1 goal, 2 assists. Average rating was a little bit underwhelming. Looks like he joined in January. And then they spent 7.5 million on Insigne from Napoli. And looking at him, when did he join? Oh, okay, so he joined in January as well. I know why he started in January, because to make this simulation a little bit more realistic, I froze the transfer budgets for the opening transfer window, so teams could only start buying players in January, because I thought that made more sense, because Klopp's joining Liverpool halfway through, and it also meant that there were other clubs in the league wouldn't be doing too many transfers. So that means that Liverpool haven't bought too many players this first year to win the league. But then who the hell has stepped up for them here? Let's take a look. So goals scored, Coutinho, Firmino, Milner and Benteke all grabbing double figures. That's a weird selection of players, especially the top three. Milner getting 12 goals, FM. Not sure where you've got that from. I mean, I'm not going to complain as a Liverpool fan, but that's a very bizarre one. Looking at it, Coutinho doing well. Let's put the attribute polygon here so it's a little bit easier and I don't have to switch around, because I know people like to look at these and it's easy to tell at a glance how good a player is. But Coutinho done well there, playing a little bit for the Brazil international side. Firmino has had a great season here in FM. Of course, he's not had the best start in real life, but looking here, 14 goals in 35 games. That is not too bad for a midfielder. Looking at it, Sturridge getting 9 goals, Jordan Ibe getting 8, Henderson getting 8. It looks like there hasn't really been a standout player this year. Looking at the assists as well, Coutinho and Firmino, kind of, they've both contributed massively in terms of they have joint most assists and they've both got 15 plus goals in the year. But that might explain why there weren't any Liverpool players in the player tables. How did they get on it in the other competitions? Let's have a look at their schedule. So looking at it here, of course, they won the Premier League. Capital One Cup, they lost in the quarter-finals at home to Manchester United. Fellaini getting a goal there, and Calderon getting a few goals. Maybe they did have some money to spend. Maybe United sold someone in the summer. Looking at what else did they do? How far did Liverpool get in the Europa League? They got to the quarterfinals where they lost to Spurs 4-0 on aggregate. Damn. Looking at their form towards the end of the year, Liverpool really tailed off. In fact, were they unbeaten for a while? It looks like they were unbeaten for quite a long time, especially in January. So it doesn't look like there was any additional silverware with the exception of the league. You can see they lost to Arsenal 5-0. So Klopp getting that success in the league, but I'll tell you what, a little bit underwhelming in all the other competitions, Liverpool. It'll be interesting to see where they can go from here because, well, a lot of people said for Rodgers, kind of him getting second in the league was kind of a curse because it meant anything that came afterwards was going to be a disappointment unless Liverpool went on to win the league. Well, Klopp is going to be in the exact same boat. So we'll go forward another year. We'll see how he's got on. Hopefully he hasn't been sacked. Maybe he can win a trophy or two more. I don't expect them to win the league again, but I guess we'll find out. Okay guys, so we are back again. It's the end of the 2015-16 season, which in real life would be the 16-17 season. I think the guys get the idea by now. Basically, we've started with all the data, but a year behind schedule. So let's have a look at the Premier League table anyway. So Liverpool actually finishing second. That's pretty impressive, all things considering. Looking at it, Mario Mandzukic getting the top goal scorer in the league. The 30-year-old Croat joining Liverpool and getting 23. Mignolet as well doing well on the clean sheet charts, and Coutinho with a really solid average rating and also getting 9 man of the matches. Let's see, I assume Klopp is still in charge. Indeed he is. Jürgen Klopp finishing first and second in his first 2 seasons with Liverpool. That is not too shabby. What achievements has he got so far? Is there any new achievements here? Okay, so Liverpool came runners up in the FA Cup. Let's go back to the schedule for Liverpool and have a look at their how they did in the competition. So they actually won the Community Shield against Sunderland. Well, that's not really an achievement, but I guess it's silverware. They got knocked out in the Capital One Cup 3rd round to Norwich. In the Champions League, they finished 3rd in their group and then got knocked out against Spurs again for the 2nd season in a row. And in the final, they lost to Leicester after extra time. So really, well, you could argue that they were close to doing almost better this season than last year. They finished 4 points off Chelsea at the top. Let's have a look at the transfers that they made. And looking at it, not too many players going on here. You can see they signed Kieran Gibbs for £3.1 million and the Welsh Xavi, Joe Allen. That is a weird bit of business. But looking at it, not signing a whole load of players, but Kieran Gibbs here, only played 7 games. Pretty disappointing for him. Mario Mandzukic looking like a really good signing. We mentioned how good his goal scoring was in the league. Looking at it here, 26 goals in 45 games in all competitions. That's not too shabby. 23 in the league is particularly impressive. He joined from Juve for almost £30 million. And the other player they signed was Bentaleb. They signed the 21-year-old they picked up for £19 million. You can see he's been really underwhelming as well. So not signing a whole load of players, although to be fair, the net spend is way over 40 million, so I guess there's that's worth kind of considering. Balotelli going out to Sevilla for £5.75 million. I'm almost curious just to see how he got on there. He got 7 goals in 30 games. Like, that's probably not that bad of a deal for Sevilla, really. Looking at the rest of the transfers, there's no big ones here, really. It's just a load of the youth players at Liverpool being loaned out. Can we have a look at their tactics? Can we see what formation they're playing? So it looks like they're playing just a 4-2-3-1. Nothing too crazy going on there. If we take a look at Klopp, just see if he's won any awards of any kind. I guess they'll be under achievements, will they? And then awards. He won Manager of the Season last season, so we didn't talk about that too much. And he didn't win a Manager of the Month this year. He won 2 last season. But pretty good start for Klopp. We'll go forward, I don't know, 1 or 2 more years and just see how he gets on. I don't want to make this episode too long. I don't know where things are going to go from here, guys. I'd love to know down in the comments, do you prefer it when with these simulate videos, kind of go into in-depth a little bit like I am here? Or would you rather I whiz through it and try and keep the videos under 10 minutes? I'd love to know kind of your thoughts on that. But anyway, let's go forward in time and see how Klopp's getting on in his 3rd season at Liverpool. Okay guys, so we're now at the end of the 2016-17 season and, well, something stands out to me. And it's the fact that under available jobs at the end of the season, we have Liverpool. Also Manchester United and City again. So a lot of big teams looking for potential managers. Let's see what happened. And wow, what a fall from grace that is for Liverpool. Finishing 8th in the league. Chelsea winning the title for the 2nd year in a row. Where did things go wrong for Liverpool? Aston Villa breaking the top 4. That is a bizarre sight to see. Let's have a look at Liverpool then. So we know the manager's been sacked. I might just go forward one more season just to see who took over and how they got on really quick at the end of this. Let's have a look at their schedule first. So we know that they were disappointing in the league. The Champions League, where did they get to? They lost in the semi-final to Leverkusen, 3-1 on aggregate. So that's a little bit unlucky. That's the furthest they got in that competition. Maybe that distracted them from the league, although you can see that 4-game losing block there probably cost them pretty heavily. In the FA Cup, they lost against Tottenham again. So Tottenham, like a bit of a bogey team, really, for this Liverpool side. And in the Capital One Cup, they lost in the semi-final to Chelsea. So Klopp only bringing that one title to Liverpool, which is a little bit surprising. Usually Liverpool, they do quite well in the League Cup and FA Cup. And to be fair, they've got close in a few competitions here, losing, in the semi-final of the Champions League and the final of the FA Cup. But that's still pretty disappointing. Let's see who was brought in then. It looks like, a job offer's been made to Rafa Benitez, so he might be the man replacing Klopp. Looking at it, again, they've spent 30 million. They also sold 17 million pounds worth of players. Any big players here? They sold Ladislav Krejci, who they signed in that first season. They sold him for 6.75 million. He doesn't look like he's done a ton for Spurs. They also sold Danny Ings and Lucas to Zenit. And those were the big outs, really. So on the ins, they brought in Manolas, the Greek centre-half, 25 years old. Not a bad signing, really. They paid 14 million for him. Looking at it, 6.81 average rating. That is not 14 million pounds well spent. They also brought in Stefano Sturato. I've never heard of this guy in my life. There was a player exchange. Okay, so it was 2.3 million pounds plus Moreno for this guy. To be fair, he looks pretty bloody good. I don't know how I've not heard of this guy. Maybe I have heard of him in the name, and maybe I'm just having a brain fart. But looking at him, he doesn't look too bad, this Italian geezer. Doesn't look too bad. In this season, you can see a 6.83 average rating, not really hit the ground running. And they also signed Denis Suarez, the former Barca playmaker. You can see they signed him. Really disappointing. He was signed from Porto, who signed him the year before that. And he got 9 assists and 6 goals for them. And then they sold him on to Liverpool for double the price. And he just didn't make that step up. Let's have a look at the rest of the Liverpool squad. So looking at goal scorers, Firmino getting 17 goals and Mandzukic getting 15. Insigne, who we saw that they'd signed, getting a few goals this year. You can see he's not done that badly, really. I say that now I look at his average ratings. It's pretty disappointing for a player you paid 14 million for. But it looks like, really, Liverpool just didn't sign a lot of players under Klopp, and those players that they did sign just really didn't shine, and that's cost him his job in the end. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to go forward to the end of the next season, because I have it simulated already. We'll see if Benitez takes over and really quickly see how he gets on, but also where Klopp kind of ends up. So I will join you guys in one more second, just for a really quick kind of end of episode rundown to see what happened next. Okay guys, so we're forward one more year. We'll just take a quick look at this. So Liverpool finishing 6th in the end, but missing out on European football, presumably because Everton and Watford won the FA Cup and League Cup. So that's pretty disappointing for Liverpool. You can see Coutinho on the average ratings again, so he's still doing well. We'll just have a quick look. So Rafa Benitez still in charge. Of course, they finished 8th under Klopp last year. So Benitez, a little bit of a recovery there, going up 2 places. If we look at the transfers in the history, they brought in some pretty big players here. They brought in Nicholas Stark, young German defensive midfielder. They brought in a few other players here that I've not really heard of, if I'm honest. Cedric here, Portuguese right back, signed him. Doesn't look like that good of a player, really. Belhanda they signed for 12 million. It looks like really Rafa Benitez hasn't spent a whole lot of money on the squad. On the outs, who did they sell? They sold Andre Wisdom, Christian Benteke for 5.25 million. Doesn't look like he ever really shone at Liverpool. You can see leading up to his transfer, he only played 18 games in the league, so just really didn't get that much of a chance to prove himself, I guess. But they were the big notable transfers really on the outs. We'll have a quick look at where Klopp ended up, just because I'm curious, just to tie up all loose ends. He ended up at Freiburg. Where did Freiburg finish last year? Let's find out. they finished in the Europa League spots in 7th, and I think the season before that they finished 15th, so looks like Klopp's found a place to call home where he's going to improve the side. Hopefully, as a Liverpool fan I say this, he can do better at Liverpool than he has here. Well, I guess if he won the league and then we finished 6th a few years later, I could live with that. If you want to win the league, Klopp, assuming he gets appointed, that would be fantastic. I'd love to know down in the comments, what do you guys make of kind of what happened here? You can see actually Benitez's job is still insecure at Liverpool. But yeah, that's Football Manager's prediction on the Klopp kind of saga. Do you think Klopp's the man for Liverpool? Do you reckon Liverpool will be able to appoint him by the end of the week? Who knows, by the time this video's up, it may be the case that he's already in charge. I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments. Remember that question I asked halfway through the episode. Do you prefer the longer videos like this one, or would you rather I keep it short, sweet and snappy? I'd love to know your thoughts. Guys, that's going to wrap everything up from me. If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you've got to the end of the video and you're new here, of course subscribe for more Football Manager content. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.